Hi everyone. Okay, it is lesson 19, session 3 on page 409, and it's going to be the shortest and fastest math lesson, math video ever. There's only 5 problems, and then we're done with this whole lesson. Then you'll move on to lesson 20, but this will be quick. And hopefully you're just using this video to check your answers, because like I said at the end of the last video, for session 2, this is the refine day. So refine means you're just kind of honing your skills. You're just kind of finishing up, making everything perfect. So we should know these problems well enough now to be able to do them by yourself without me guiding you through them. But if not, that's okay. You can watch this video and follow along with me. Or just check your answers and give yourself lots of stars for all your hard work. Okay, number 1. Draw 2 different models to show 2/3 minus 1/3. Okay, so 2 different models. So one model you could do is an area model. And you could do a circle or a rectangle area model. That's not a very good looking rectangle. And it needs to be in thirds, so I'm gonna have 3 equal pieces. Okay, so 2/3 minus 1/3. So remember with the area models, if it's subtraction, I'm gonna color in my 2/3, and then I'm taking away 1/3, so I need to cross out one of them. And what's left over, that one that's colored in but not crossed out, this 1/3 is our answer. Denominator stays the same. 2 minus 1 in the numerator is 1. So that checks out. There's 1/3 right there. But I need a different model. I need 2 different models. So I can't do another area model. So the other way I know how is a number line. Okay, so we've got 0, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Okay, so it's 2/3 minus 1/3. So I'm gonna, my first bar up to 2/3, color it in, and then I'm subtracting 1/3. So I need to go back 1/3. And I look down for my answer, 1/3. Give yourself a star for both models, please. All right, and then number 2. Rob has a large pizza and a small pizza. He cuts each pizza into fourths. He takes 1/4 from each pizza and uses the following problem to show their sum. 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4. What does Rob do wrong? Okay, so we know that this is correct, right? 1/4 plus 1/4 does equal 2/4. But if he took this piece of pizza, this 1/4 right here, and this little one, this plus this is not the same, right? That's a different size piece than that one. Okay, so we should remember this from back when we were doing comparing fractions. Remember, we can't compare this pizza to this pizza if they're different sizes. So Rob's answer is correct, his addition is correct, but you can't add 1/4 from a large pizza and 1/4 from a small pizza because they're different sized wholes. Remember, the whole thing needs to be the same size as what you're comparing it to or what you're adding it to. So because the original pizzas are different sizes, you can't properly add parts of them together. Okay, so Rob's addition is correct. That looks messy. Is correct. But you can't add parts together if the holes are not the same size. Okay, so hopefully you remembered that from our earlier fractions lessons. These are not the same size. If he had 2 small pizzas and he wanted to add this 4th to this 4th, then his addition would be correct. But you can't add those and say that it now equals half of a pizza. Okay? Give yourself a star if you said something about that. Number 3, think about how you would add 3 whole numbers. You must start by adding 2 of the numbers. Then you add the third number to that sum. You add 3 fractions the same way. So they're saying, like, if you were adding 1 plus 2 plus 5. First you would think, well, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, that's what they're saying up there. So we basically do the same thing if you're adding 3 fractions together. So nothing changes. You just have 3 little sections on your number line that you're adding together instead of 2. So same thing, my denominator stays the same the whole time, and I add my numerators. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay, so I need 3 colors now. So my first fraction is 1/10. So I'm gonna, well, I guess I should label first. 0, 1, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6, whoa, 6/10, not 6/16. Okay, 10/10. So my first bar on my area model, or my line, my number line, sorry, that's an area model. It's 1/10, so, okay. My next one is 3/10. 1, 2, 3. I need to think of another way to color my next bar. And my last one I'm adding is 4/10. So I got 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spots. Okay, so I ended up with 8/10. That's my answer. Give yourself a star if you landed on 8/10 in your area model, or on your, gosh, on your number line. For your area model, it's 1/10 plus 3/10. 1, 2, 3, and another color. 4 more for 4/10. 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8/10. Give yourself a star if you colored in 8 boxes. Okay, back page. Look, it's only been like 8 minutes. So fast. Okay, oh, cute. Number 4. Jen has 4/10 of a kilogram of dog food. Luis has 3/10 of a kilogram of dog food. A large dog eats 2/10 of a kilogram in one meal. Write 2 different questions about this problem that involve adding or subtracting fractions. So we don't actually have to solve anything. We're just coming up with different word problems that we could use this information with. Okay, so you could have lots of different things. There's no like correct answer, as long as you use some of this information and came up with 2 questions about the problem. So maybe you said, how much food do they have together? How much dog food do Jen and Luis have together? Okay, so that's a possible question that someone could ask you to solve using this information, because she has 4/10, Luis has 3/10. So somebody could ask, how much is that together? That's a good question. Another one would be, could be like or how much more food does Jen have than Luis? That would be a subtraction one. Or if Jen has a large dog and feeds it once in one meal, how much food does she have left? Okay, so any other problems you came up with. I'm just gonna say how, that's a W, or supposed to be a W, how much more food does Jen have than Luis? Okay, so give yourself 2 stars. Any questions you came up with about that problem would be fine. And then for B, you have to choose one of those and solve it. Okay, so I know that if you're working ahead of me, like if you already did this page and you're just checking your answers, you already did these questions, maybe you don't have the same ones we do or that I do, and that's fine, but I'm going to show you how to solve one of them, and hopefully you did a number line and an area model for whatever problem you chose. Okay, so if I'm figuring out how much food they have together, I'm adding this plus this. Okay, so on a number line, it's going to go 0, 1/10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10/10. I mean, I guess I didn't have to go all the way out to 10/10, but oh well. Okay, so I'm adding 4/10 for Jen, so 0 all the way up to 4/10. And Luis has 3/10, so I'm adding 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it looks like together they have 7/10, and that makes sense because my numerators 4 plus 3 equals 7. I also need an area model. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's 10 parts total. Jen has 4/10, so I'm going to color in 4 of them purple. And Luis has 3/10, so I'm going to color in 3 of them red. And total is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10, so 7/10. So that might not have been the problem you chose to solve, and that's totally fine because we could have come up with different problems. You could have chosen either of your problems to solve down here. So if yours doesn't look exactly like this, that's fine. You could have been solving a different problem, okay? But as long as you showed your answer with a number line and an area model, give yourself 2 stars. Okay, and very last problem. The math journal one, so you're gonna have to do a little writing. Look at the expression 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. Is this sum greater than, less than, or equal to 5/8? Explain how you know. Okay, well, 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's 5 unit fractions that are all eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just double checking. Okay, so I know if I'm adding fractions, my denominator stays the same. Now I add my numerators. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so is that sum greater than that, less than that, or equal to that? Well, 5/8 equals 5/8. So the sum is equal to 5/8. But we have to explain how we know that. How do you know it equals 5/8? Because you add the numerators. Only. You only add the numerators. You're not adding 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, right? Done. World's fastest math lesson. Bye, guys.